with compositions that have a lot of front-loaded damage, and when you've got things like Emperor's Divide and, of course, the Slicing Maelstrom that are going to be coming in, which is where T1 wants to do most of their work, if Effort can try and eat most of that, utilizing his Unbreakable Will certainly can be a way to make things work, especially when he has the added safety of the Callisto.
It's also the mental edge, Atlas. This
yeah.
outstole your Baron. And now we've seen them draft recently, which I honestly love. I think that it's been something that T1 has been opting into when you had Faker in as well. But there's still ample scaling, right? And yeah, I don't love playing Callisto.
This is not great. As Teddy, of course, with a Frost Shot, going to be very happy. Even manages to get the ward down. There's the flash. The follow flash comes through, and Teddy, welcome back to the main roster. First blood solo kill. Finds him, and there's just nowhere to walk. So he should be okay. Actually kiting around the other side as there's the Slicing Maelstrom. Summit in so much trouble. The Narbar's almost up, but he needs one more auto. And now Croco getting chased down. This cannon is so powerful. Mark of the Storm's going to work out as Faker not going to go for the ult. As Ona now diving on forward, Fate is going to get stunned up, but is going to be able to push them away as Summit going to get some flashes, but doesn't invest the ulti himself. Some very low health bars on both sides. But no one to go down just yet as now Teddy chasing Effort. Yeah, all of Liiv Sandbox still waiting on the wings, but the eye's going to get poked of Shelly, and she's down very low already. Croco pretty far away from this one. Moonfall in hand. There's the smite. As Carrier going to move on forward. The arrow will connect, and there's no... Oh my goodness! Into the backline goes the cannon. The lightning is cutting them down. The Emperor's Divide's beautiful. The Wombo combo, amazing from T1 as Fate will have to flash away. Summit in trouble as well, and the flashes to follow Fate will mean that he can't get out, and Teddy claims another.
And that's a disastrous turn for Liiv Sandbox, and honestly, a beautiful play by Connor. And this goes back to... Faker?
Yeah, Faker in trouble here as Summit looking to try and lock him down. He will be able to do so. So, Summit getting some revenge here on the Emperor of Shurima on the top side.
Oh, Croco.
Yeah, okay. There's now Effort chasing after, does get the flash forward as there's the Moonfall from Croco. Teddy going down very, very low as Faker is in position. Teddy still alive for now as the culling comes through, but Fate can't walk through the wall, and Teddy, he's out of there. Now the rest of T1 trying to survive. Emperor's Divide not necessarily working fantastically, but Effort will eventually go down. And Teddy, he's still alive somehow, wandering up through the forest as now Canna trying to get out of this one. He is going to get smashed down there by Summit with the wallop as Owner is going to flash after him. There's the stun, there's the kill, and the possession will come through afterwards, and Owner gets revenge.
But the fact that Teddy gets away there is so big, it means that Prince doesn't get his rent resets, isn't able to get a lot more done, his effort is...
Oh dear. Yeah, Effort could be in trouble here. Doesn't have his Unbreakable Will. There's the exhaust. They do back away. Teddy actually getting out of there. Will give the kill over to Owner potentially, but no, Effort is just given a way out. Nope, the stun comes through, and he is going to die. I find it interesting that Teddy's like, no, there's a minion wave, everyone. Teddy very close to having his ult back up. Carrier's got his, lands it pretty nicely there onto Prince. Now the counter engage to come through as Carrier suffers only half of his health bar, but decides he wants to go back in again. Flashes away. Prince is going to keep himself alive as Teddy off to the side will get Fate's called for the knock-up. The arrow is going to connect, but it's onto Effort, who had his ulti, but I think the T1's wallets are just a little bit too heavy. As into the backline goes Canna and eviscerates the members of Liiv Sandbox, still here standing as Effort now just trying to clop his way towards the top side of the map, and Summit wasn't even here.
And then,
yeah, let's have a look at Owner one more
time. 다이애나 볼만해? 잡았어.
Just like that, by the way, everyone.
That's not okay. So maybe change up our draft, because that is something that, especially in the best of 5, even more so than in the best of 3 scenario, needs to happen. You can't draft this same type of comp.
Oh, arrow will connect there onto Fate. There's the chain CC and an extraordinarily dead Lucian, and now Owner has decided that he wants to be the champion. Prince going to be taken down as well. The possessions will continue. It's a possession procession here in the mid lane as T1 will move over to... here's a flash forward though, not going to find the stun as Owner's going to get headbutted out of there. Carrier now possibly in trouble as the Emperor's Divide lands onto so many, and into the backline goes Canna. Summit looking for Teddy, but now he has to get out of the way. Teddy flashes after him, the wallop comes through, but Teddy Oh, he's going to fall in the end. Avoids the boulder, but can't avoid the massive auto attacks here of the Gnar. Meanwhile, the rest of T1 will mop the floor with Liiv Sandbox. So it was all a cunning ruse in the end. And now, with this Baron buff and multiple siege minions, they're looking to try and break these Nexus turrets. It's only Summit and Croco left available. No Moonfall, no Gnar available either. It looks like it is just going to be both of the Nexus turrets and T1 backing away.
As a Liiv Sandbox fan, at least Summit played well. That's about as much as you can take away from this, because outside of that, this has just been a straight-up outclassing in this first game from T1. And it's early, it's just everything. The early control, the fights, the skirmishes, the reads on Liiv Sandbox.
I think like the Ashe lane into Kalista is already way too hard for Kalista, but if you give your opponent an early longsword by dying against your opposition,
and having no
it
flash.
Skews the game so extraordinarily far, as now we're going to have possibly the final fight. As there's the Emperor's Divide to get rid of Effort. He's thrown away Fate's Call. Will keep him alive, but it's not going to work out for Croco, as Canna with his slicing Maelstrom moving towards him doesn't really do too much with it. However, stops anyone from being able to attack T1. There is no defense for this Nexus, and T1 will obliterate Liiv Sandbox in game 1 of this best of 5. Money that Croco didn't have access to. Like, look at this. This is just absurd. The lead that Teddy had. I want to see the damage difference. Maybe if he gets POG, we'll be able to see the damage difference between himself and Prince, because it's over 3 times that of what Prince was able to put out. But to be perfectly honest, after the blunder in the early game, it was just downhill, and it was pretty academic.
And
the Braum comes in.
I think the Braum's really nice into the top side of Sandbox. Picking Braum into Fresh specifically feels a lot less nice. It's an okay pick. Does take away some of the agency, and as a whole, T1's composition...
Snowball, especially on the back of this Viego, should certainly be something that we should keep in the back of our mind. So let's see how T1's going to be able to do it. Yeah, Croco looking to make his way in. No more face breakers available, and the showstopper not there just yet. Just to let you guys know, the stats that we're showing for these matchups and things like that is based on the summer season, as Fate might just die here. One more auto, the flash, but the auto is already in the air, and Faker will get the first blood solo kill this time around.
It's not a good look.
Yeah, Fed LeBlanc can also skew an entire game, as we're going to watch Faker navigate this one. And it's sidestep into... lands the chain, skirts it past the
미드 잡았고 미드 노플 뭐하노
got mid.
나이스!
No flash. What are you doing? That's what he said at the end there.
나 6분에 방풀.
Fate pretty close to his turret this time around. He should be okay. It's Teddy and Carrier looking very aggressively postured here on the bottom side of the map on Liiv Sandbox. They know that Faker and Owner are both out of position, and Prince is just dead. Carrier going to be able to stand beside his jungler, and Teddy moves out of the turret range. The minions still there, and this is going to be a fair few plates. As Shelly will go over to Liiv Sandbox, but how many plates will T1 be able to collect bottom side as their reward?
And they might even get Shelly.
Yeah, okay. Got a bit of a teleport coming through here from the keystone of Carrier. So he's going to turn up. Cannon's going to have to flash away pretty early, though, as Carrier's going to surprise them by popping towards this Baron pit. Now moving potentially away is Croco. Moonlight Vigil going completely wide. The Moonfall, I tell a lie, is now Summit. He's going to have to get out of there. T1 immediately on top of him, though, as Canna just blocking the rest of Liiv Sandbox out of the area. He will sacrifice himself for it as Faker just watches as the hook doesn't connect. And now he's got his cooldowns back. Heartbreaker comes forward. Effort going to be taken down. And now it's just the resets to come through. Faker collects another kill, and Sandbox are falling apart. Carrier pretty happy about his decision, already reaping the rewards. The Flame Trumpers just tell Teddy to move away, and he's going to say, all right. As now, he's just looking to kill Prince underneath this turret. Moonlight Vigil is going to miss. Good sidestep there from Prince, as Teddy is going to take a turret shot, but still wins out on the trade, as now Summit is dead here on the top side of the map. Goodbye. And T1 now just going to start the Rift Herald for themselves, and oh dear, Chronicler, this is going to hell in a handbasket.
I don't think that's a great place to be for Sandbox.
Yeah, I think that if T1 have showed us anything, it's been pretty clean, the play around their positioning, and this wasn't for Summit, unfortunately. Just overextended there.
And this should be successful. Faker does have TP.
Yep, Slicing Maelstrom is available. There's no stopwatch here for Canna or anything like that, so this is dangerous, and that teleport that you were talking about certainly comes on in. The special delivery of the cannon, he keeps himself alive for quite some time, but the face break is good. Croco gonna find the Moonfall, but it's not going to be enough to save his life, as now Faker actually moving the other way, just playing the do-si-do here with Liiv Sandbox. The Summit gets into angry mode, but it is going to be about Faker just trying to run them around. The Haymaker comes through, the Gnar is avoided, and Faker is going to take his time moving back to this one, and he knows that he can make this a 1v1 on either side, but still not enough funny business available.
Again, with the amount of control that is available, T1 really going to have to run into it as...
Yeah, Croco and Fate moving on in here. Carrier is just going to give himself away for this one, knows that he's dead. And meanwhile, Inner Turret falls in the mid lane.
Just puts off... Oh no, it's Infernal. So, oh no.
That's going to break down some of the walls here as T1 moving on in. Not going to be able to steal away Shirley, but now they're just going to guard the eye as best they can. And Liiv Sandbox, they're not allowed into this river. This is T1 territory. And it's just not going to be a thing. So the eye's looking around, it's like, where are my owners? Where's my family?
Is that Infernal Soul on a Fat LeBlanc or a Cannon or an Aphelios?
Yeah, or anyone that does damage.
Yeah, it's not very fun to play into, and it's also less space available for Summit to make the big plays, right? Look at the spaciousness that is now here for T1. Drake's getting started up.
Yeah, Fate looking over to the side here, looking for Canna, finds him, knows that he was going to be searching for a flank as well. As you can see, the Dragon just running between his two potential masters. It is going to be secured by Prince, but the Moonlight Vigil will connect. Glacial Fissure comes down, but the follow-up is not great, and T1 is, in fact, infinitely large in a lot of ways. As Owner, he's looking for Croco here on the backside, and now he's going to get delivered 3 members of Liiv Sandbox. There's the Heartbreaker. Owner just taking this one by himself for now, but he does have the stopwatch. Flame Chomper's not going to connect as Effort has a stopwatch of his own, but he's still most likely going to die. Croco uses his over the wall, will keep him alive, but now he's not actually able to continue fighting. Summit in the same boat as he hops his way out of this one, and T1 with this one pick, is it enough to get themselves the Baron? And Teddy with that Crescendum Severum combo, that's a lot of Baron damage.
We're seeing how Liiv Sandbox using the pressure that they have available with this threatening combo.
Oh dear, Canna gonna get his face broken yet again as Summit moves on forward. There's a Slicing Maelstrom, finds himself the stopwatch, but it's not going to keep him alive, just smashed into the wall. Drake has now spawned. Liiv Sandbox still thinking about whether or not they want to contest for this Baron or just take the Drake. And Summit has said Dragon time. And T1 have said that they are just starting off on this Baron. Super Mega Death Rocket will spot it out. And Canna waiting over to the side. So second Infernal does go over to Liiv Sandbox, and T1 feeling the pressure. They want to be able to take this one. They burst it and stole it! This is the team of Steelers, and it's going to be Croco's turn this time. And now T1 try to look for the fight to salvage it. They take down both. As now the dive on forward, the Superplex is good from Fate, but he may just die, as Summit is the last man standing that has a Baron wrapping around him. I say that a little bit ahead of time, but I don't think Fate's going to survive this one. And that's exactly right. He goes golden for a moment to buy some time for his Gnar. He is still going to fall down, so that is one Baron, but it's a good steal there from Liiv Sandbox that deny yet another opportunity for T1 to grab themselves the Infernal Soul.
The downside, of course, is that while you get the Baron, you give up basically everything. And now T1 with the counter push, death timers are pretty long at this point, Atlas.
Yeah, we are 35 minutes into this game, so Teddy should be able to start ripping through this inhibitor turret. And it's basically an afterthought. They're going to back away before taking down the inhibitor. 2 inner turrets remain in the side lanes. T1 almost managing to find what they want. Faker just needs to find one more little pick, one more little corner, as Canna has moved that teleport towards exactly the ward we were talking about. Prince now eating through some honey fruit as in goes Owner, and there is the Slicing Maelstrom. Canna gets rid of Prince from the team fight, but my God! Summit and Croco obliterate the bottom lane of T1! And the top side of Liiv Sandbox have done their job, and now it looks like it is going to be 3 Drakes going over to Liiv Sandbox.
And the trigger does get pulled, but it doesn't end well for T1, as that backline dive coming into full force. A very split up fight as Croco...
Yeah. Oh no. Faker should be able to finish him off here as, the Diana is going to fall. Owner's going to be able to get the resets, and now Fate is going to be in trouble as well. The Haymaker does absolutely nothing. Summit trying to come forward, looking for more, but maybe he's just put himself in position to be taken down here. The Facebreaker is going to connect. As now Owner heartbreaks, but yeah, I think the heartbreak belongs to Summit this time around as Faker just pops to as many different directions as he is likely to go. Anar comes down, but the drill is not going to connect onto Faker. It's only a matter of time, and that is going to be the finish. Yeah.
But we are a special region, Liz.
Well, Effort may just die. No, has himself the shield. He's going to be okay in the end. My goodness, throws down the redemption for himself as well. As Croco going to suffer a similar fate. As I'd probably write down Faker's POG on
no, I already
T1
did.
pod card.
Don't worry.
Okay, beautifully done. As that has
right
just given them a Baron. Because now without Thresh, how are you supposed to actually approach? Especially when Faker can just dive forward with impunity. Looking for Croco here, he's going to do a fair bit of damage. The Moonfall finally comes out, but it just doesn't do enough damage. Teddy going to get redemption from the side as in goes Fate, but now he's trying to 1v1 against Teddy immediately. He uses the QSS Flash to get out of the way. The Showstopper hits the wrong target, and now Prince is in trouble. Owner just diving on top of him. The Gnar onto Owner, but he's got a GA. He's absolutely fine, and Prince not so much. No fountain for you, unfortunately, and T1 with a snap of their fingers, take down the Nexus at 47 minutes. But awesome. I think, in all seriousness, Liiv Sandbox held on relatively well around, you know, that mid-game where they were able to try and get us to a point where we were almost talking about possibilities for them. But as you can see, I mean, the damage numbers aren't necessarily awful here for Liiv Sandbox.
Yeah, playing Silas into Lucian is a very unpleasant experience, and this is a very different approach from T1, not opting in to play something that punishes the Silas, but instead still going to have a lot of priority, a lot of control in the lane, especially early when the clockwork wind-up is going to do immense amounts of damage. Fade wanting to get out of that lane as soon as humanly possible. It does give the T1 comp a lot more longevity to Kana. I think in this context might be a trap. I would love to see them try and actually utilize that. Look for some early invades. And that's the matchup.
Yeah, this is not a good time. And it's only gotten worse, right, with the Kingslayer nerf as Fate going to dive forward. We can see that the stats for the Silas very good, but it was a different situation for the Silas. There's the Dissonance, gets the slow into Fate. The clockwork is well and truly winding up as Faker is not going to bite off more than he can chew. And damn, already this lane is feeling horrible to this Silas. Right now, it's just T1 positioning themselves around here, trying to get as many plates as they can before they unleash the Rift Herald. There's a very deep teleport to come through from the Silas. There's Effort in a bit of trouble. Croco looking for something as the Shockwave going to come through, but the Heartbreaker is buffered. Croco makes it out. Fate spotted here by Owner. That's great news for T1. As Fate not even able to get himself out of the way of the spear, as Owner walking further forward than even Effort was expecting, as now the fight is going to break out. Solar Flare goes completely wide. I remember praising, like, I think it was Yellow Pete back in the day. It's like, wow, he landed it. Speaking of landed it, goodbye, Mr. Cannon. Can't even get the stuns off. As Carrier turns up, that Solar Flare is going to connect, and that is a very dead Lightning Rat.
Come on. Generally, we'll be dead.
Oh, it's another Solar Flare to come out as Carrier goes on a wild ride, hit by a hook in the middle of it. He's able to flash himself out to safety. But that was exciting.
That was a lot.
Whoa. Thank you, KT Roster, I guess. I don't know. To give a comp like this, map controllers, that's a big old Gnar into the wall. The Cannon in trouble is going to have to flash out of the way of the spear. As he takes so much damage. Cannon wants more, and is going to pick it up with the Hyper Proc. The turret isn't going to be able to come any further forward, and Shirley is going to get her work done. Hook not going to be avoided here by Teddy, who finds the Chains of Corruption onto Effort. But he uses his cleanse, gets himself out of the way, and Effort going to hold on to his flash. So nicely done there by the Thresh. Still, it's going to be difficult. Now finds the Flay onto Owner as Shirley also, and his wave clear certainly going to be dangerous. As Fate says, no, I want to be able to hit you with your own ultimate. See whether he can actually find it, as now Teddy is Just trying to, walk this one out as best he can. Escaping from the Silas is going to be difficult as he lands the chains over the wall. Goodbye, Mr. Varus.
That's obviously great. Also, Teddy flashing in the line, not ideal, and this is the kind of flank you need.
Yeah, Liiv Sandbox looking for even more here. Teddy still dead for 10 seconds at the summit. Has found 2 with his slicing Maelstrom. Faker immediately taken down. Carrier is just running away as best he can. The Baron's been alive for 50 seconds, and Liiv Sandbox are trying to end that now as they move over to the pit.
The exact situation that you need to avoid as T1. The kill. You're in a great spot, Kana. You can't get caught here. Drake is coming up soon.
Yeah, he's teleporting in vision, and it is going to get cancelled. Goodbye, Kana. He's taken out once again. Another overextension here for T1. 46 seconds on the Drake. They can give up a lone Cloud Drake, but they want to hold on to that win condition, or potential win condition, of the Cloud Soul. And get rid of it where they can. The Baron has respawned as now Kana looking for Summit, but the teleport will come forward. That's a flash, and Summit just immediately goes golden. Buys time for Fate to get on in here. And Kana, I don't know what that was, but it did not work. T1 able to disengage, but Liiv Sandbox take this as an invitation to get right on top of the Baron. T1 indecisive right now. The Baron going down relatively slowly as Summit looking for his flank. There's the flash in. The exhaust is going to come down though as now Summit's in trouble. He's going to fall immediately as Carrier goes golden. Chains of Corruption connecting, but there's not that much damage on T1 side. Prince forced out of there, has some short-range weaponry at the moment. And it's a 4v4. Prince is the win condition as there's the Gnar. And Kana may have done it. They lock down Effort. As now right into the back line they go as they trade 1-for-1. It's supports now that have been taken out. Carrier and Effort have both fallen down.
Got a nasty peek and gone back with a fresh health bar. And I don't think either team can go for Baron here, but they're now moving towards the objective. Kana coming in with the flank.
Yeah, immediate teleport to come through here as Fate looks for the chains, but only finds a hijack onto Teddy. Now Kana with absolutely 0 mega bar shows himself to the rest of Liiv Sandbox. The 3 could collapse on him. He does not have his flash available, but can hop some walls if you would like to, and does do that. As we now see T1 trying to work out what they want to do, as it looks like Liiv Sandbox will just walk over and take Soul Point.
And it's the threat that's available, right? Yes, you can approach her as T1, but if you get hit by Fate, if you get too close to Prince, you just die, right? You just outright lose the game. That might lose you the Baron, and that snowballs from there. And yeah, T1, they're playing with a gold lead, but it doesn't feel that way, Atlas, as Kana is about to hit Mini. Wonder whether they were going to look for an imminent collapse. Not going to be the case. And man, tough fight here, as the immediate exhaust is so big here. Everyone playing really nicely around Summit, expecting him to come from that angle. Double stopwatch used well. Fate not really able to get a lot done. Yeah. But the same can be said for Kana, right? Like, it takes Kana very long to actually get into relevant range. Also trying to preemptively go for the Gnar into the wall on Prince taking that objective. But now you're a Phelios and they're funneling into you in the choke point. So you don't want to do that.
Good about that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And then the threat of 100 to 0ing that Liiv Sandbox had is too much. Soul Point is taken, but oh! Whew.
Okay, Teddy. Very close, but Summit might just be able to take him down here. Just needs one more Q, and that is goodbye, Varus. In the meantime, T1 are taking on the Baron. Let's see whether they can actually lock this one up. They're going to need to try and burst it. Lantern Right is going to be taken here as T1 will be able to secure the Baron, but can they get out alive? 2-man Shockwave comes on through. Summit also has to use his Zhonya's, as now Owner is also going to go into his, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough as Liiv Sandbox tidy up. It's Kana and Carrier left with a Baron, but at least Liiv Sandbox aren't going to be able to take one for themselves, but they might be able to break open the base off this one. It's 32.5 minutes into this game, and Prince does a heck of a lot of damage. Zale was right all along, I tell you. As the teleports come through here from T1, Summit trying to turn this possibility as he's immediately going to get exhausted as Faker not going to get taken down here. Summit absolutely is, as that might have been an overly aggressive play. As now Liiv Sandbox setting up. Chain's not going to connect at all, as now Prince going to take a Lantern. Chains of Corruption connect, as that's a big Gnar from Fate. But where's the follow-up? He does find his Zhonya's button. Shockwave comes through and they get rid of the Silas. Croco trying to get out of there as Owners dived on forward. Goodbye, Mr. Aphelios. There's not enough years quite available here for the Liiv Sandbox AD carry, and now T1 pushing 4 strong down the bottom lane.
And it looks like both teams are looking for the end. Kroko is very low. Khan is going to try and defend. I don't think they can do this. If you have full health bar as Viego there, maybe. But Kana is fed. He's at the ready.
Oh, not able to stop it. Man, that could have been big. But it is going to be the inhibitor taken one more time here from T1.
They're looking for it.
Yeah, we're going to go for the end. 5 members of T1 pushing on forward. 25 seconds on Fate, 22 on Prince. Is now effort desperately trying to keep these turrets alive. But T1, they are one-track focused. They want this 3-0. Hook is going to connect onto Faker, but it's not going to be enough. And T1, despite everything that happened in the mid to later game.
That went from, okay, super high, like 10 shot calling to just devolving into everyone screaming tower.
Yeah, tower, tower, tower. As Summit did a lot of damage this game, but you saw a lot of that load was shared here by T1.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason with the POG interview of the Summer Split Playoff Round 1 Match 2. The winner T1, the POGs will be Teddy, Faker, and Kana. How are you feeling, guys?
3대0으로
It's a clean, 3-0 win. It's a relief, and we're keep working hard. What about you, Faker?
네, 이제 3대0으로 저희가 이겨서
It was a 3-0 victory, so I'm pretty much satisfied with the result, and we will prepare for the upcoming match. It's been a while since we played best of 5, so it was definitely a little bit hard, but I'm glad that we were able to end it pretty quick, and I didn't really get exhausted. Thanks for the quick 3-0 victory. Faker, did you expect this kind of a landslide 3-0 victory coming? Well, after winning the game number 1, I had some good feelings. And also in the middle of the series, I kind of had the confidence. Teddy, welcome back. It's been 47 days since we saw you here in the LCK, and you got the POG on the game. The first game you came back to the LCK. Very, very fast adaptation on a big stage. Do you also think that this kind of experience does really help you a lot? All I had in my mind is to kill the opponent. It's a bummer that I didn't really get many kills, I think I have to do better in the next best of 5. And Teddy, yeah, we could see the fiery eye from you, a lot more aggressive than before. You did spend some time on the bench, so we're curious about this kind of roster swap, or maybe what kind of goal did you have for today's series?
괜찮게 된 것 같은데.
I think it went all okay. Everything was good. Good answer from Teddy. Well, T1 dropped the final game of the regular split. So what kind of feedback went back and forth after going back to the drawing board? That day, we kind of had some bad energy, and the game didn't go well as well. So we did our best to, feel a lot better, so I slept well, and I took care of my own health. Sleeping well is also a very important factor. Performing on stage. And in game number 1, you guys actually played Ashe into Kalista. Tell us about this matchup. We are Ashe Leona, and it was Kalista Alistar we were playing against. So we wanted to just play out the lane safely, but with the kill bonus in the level 1. After that, I was able to play a very comfortable lane. And you kind of shouted out carry, a jinx here in the LCK. But we could feel the confidence from you, and you lifted the carry phrase curse. I mean, after saying that, I actually felt a little bit scared of the jinx. So I'll be a little bit more cautious. Game number 2, Faker. We would like to ask you about your LeBlanc, your signature pick, the pick that killed me so many times. Your LeBlanc has an incredible win rate here in the LCK, and we saw a little bit of a smile on your face after that LeBlanc lock-in. Are you satisfied with your performance? I don't think I was smiling at that moment, but overall, previous to the last series, we did step up a little bit, but still this is not our best form. I think we have to improve ourselves. And game 2, I was able to play a lot more proactively. But I wasn't proactive or aggressive enough, so the game got extended a little bit. So I think I have to work on that issue as well. Kana, we are having a lot of Nar versus Canada matchup on the top lane. Could you break down the champion matchup starting from the laning phase till the teamfight stage? In the laning phase, Kennen does have a bit of a slight range advantage, so he can really play very well until level 6 in the later game. Nar has the side lane priority, but I think both champions have pros and cons. I guess you want all the matchup because you played better? Yeah, kind of. I think I played Kennen better. You did, because they secured a 3-0 victory. And speaking of game 3, T1 did have a priority, but the game was a little bit extended.
일단 2세트 3세트 때는
Game 3, well,
중간에 저희가 잘렸을 때
we got picked
불리한 적이
time to time, but we never thought we were falling behind. And also, we have a very high concentration in the mid to the late game, so we were not worried at all. And that pick onto Kennen was the nail in the coffin to pick up the Game 3 victory. Well, you guys were rotating towards Kennen, and the reaction from you guys was so on point. What kind of call went back and forth? The opponents were very far away, so we wanted to, you know, make him use his skills before we head into the teamfight stage. And I kept in mind what kind of skill will actually target me. And T1 wrapped up the playoffs round number 1 victoriously, and Tom and Kia will be selecting their round 2 opponent in about 30 minutes. Who do you guys prefer, Tom and Kia or Genji?
저는
Well, me?
팀원의 방향성에 따라
I just follow the direction of my teammates. Kana, what about you?
둘다 잘하는
Both are
팀이라고
strong.
생각하는데요.
I think both are strong teams. Both are strong teams.
네?
What?
말하면 되나요?
Me? Can I continue?
네, 두 팀 다
I
잘하는
think two teams
팀이라고
are both
생각하는데요.
very strong, very
언제
talented.
한번 담원이
But
결승에서 T1을 만나고 싶다라는
I think Tom and Kia did say in the previous interview, like long time ago, they wanted to play against T1 at finals. So I would like to face Genji in the semis. What about you, Faker? You always try to pick on Kana a little bit on stage. Do you have any other answer about the round 2 opponent? I always say I don't mind too much about our own opponent. Focusing on ourselves is the most important key, and I'm sure Tama will not pick us. Very clear answer by Faker. And lastly, what's your mindset for the next round of the playoffs?
다전제 경기
Best of 5 series. We're gonna have another one. We're gonna prepare as hard as we can. What about you, Faker? We finally are at playoffs. We have learned a lot in the previous series, and we kind of have a long way to go as well. You know, there are some rooms to be improved, so I hope we can come back with improved performance this year. I really need to take a flight, you know, so I will win the next match. And this will be the end of the interview from Teddy, Faker, Kana, and I'm gonna pass it back to our casters. Thank you.